Hello, everybody. This is William Daniels, and you are watching I Am Just a Bears Fan podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the Khalil Mack trade and how it made me feel. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that had to deal with a rush of emotions when I found out that Khalil Mack was going to be traded. Because my question was, what other defensive player on that roster that other teams had to know where he was at all times? What other player on that defensive front that the teams had to make sure 52 was in eyeshot? What other player? And I was hearing Bears fans on Facebook groups, on other YouTube podcasts. Well, Khalil Mack's production had slipped. Khalil Mack was injured. Number one, you're playing football, a physical sport, you're going to get injured. And if we look back over the history of Khalil Mack and his play, he really hasn't been injured. He's been sturdy. He's been a sturdy player from the time that he left the Raiders to the time of today, as far as my recollection. Remember, I'm just a fan. I'm not an expert. So let me know if he's been injured before where he was out for a significant time. Because they said, well, Khalil Mack's production was down. And my thought was, if Khalil is being double teamed 90% of the snaps, and not only is Khalil being double teamed, then the scheme that the opposing team have is to either run away from him or to do some quick tosses, some quick throws, some quick slants to get the ball out the quarterback's hands. And not to mention being double teamed and then having a fullback or a running back kind of slide around and chip him to help slow him down some. Well, yes, the production will be down. My question was, but why trade Khalil Mack? And so I was reading an article on chicagobears.com written by Larry Meyer. So Larry Myers quoted Poles as saying, Poles conceded that trading Mack to the Chargers March 16th wasn't easy, but the deal was ultimately made because it was the best for the Chicago Bears. Poles also said trading Khalil Mack was one of the hardest things that he had to do. A guy of that caliber player, it's not easy to move on from. But it was one of those situations you knew that you had to do what was best for the club. Then Poles also said, it's really at the end of the day, I think it's a win-win for Khalil, the Chargers, the Bears, in terms of the directions that we was going. In return for the 6-time Pro Bowl that the Bears received, a 2022 second-round pick, 48th overall, a 2023 sixth-round selection, and the Chargers are responsible for the remaining 3 years of Mack's contract, enabling the Bears to gain $6.15 million in salary cap space in 2022, this year, $28.5 million in 2023, and $23.25 million in 2024. Wow. When I began to look at that, I began to calm down and I began to understand why they traded Khalil Mack. Did I like the trade? No. And as Bears fans, we have to be honest. We can become so emotionally invested in our teams, whether it's the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, the Fire, whoever team that we like, we can become emotionally invested in that team and in that player, that we want to see that player do well for us. Nevertheless, I understood why they had to do what they did. So as fans, we could be funny and fickle, and we can have a what have you done for me lately. You know we can. You know we do it all the time. Mack was reliable and his production was consistent. This has been William E. Daniels, and you have been listening to I Am Just a Fan podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. Smash that like button. Leave your comment. Tell me what you think so we can have this conversation. I want to know what you think. What was your reaction? What was your initial reaction when you found out that Khalil Mack had indeed been traded? Get in the comments. Tell me what you think. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like the channel. Join the family. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.